Many travelers dream of experiencing the beauty of Tanzania, from its stunning national parks to vibrant cultural sites. Yet the costs often seem overwhelming. But with Visit Tanzania for Less, exploring this East African gem on a budget is not only possible, but incredibly rewarding. Whether you're a solo backpacker, a volunteer, or just a budget-conscious traveler, we provide valuable insights and resources to make your journey unforgettable without breaking the bank. Book your trip now with just a $300 deposit and flexible monthly payments until your travel date. For more travel inspiration and tips, follow us on Instagram or visit us at visittanzaniaforless.com. Visit Tanzania for Less, your dream adventure within reach.
Good evening. It's 2 p.m., which means it's time for your favorite afternoon talk program, Torn in Two, here at 103.7 The Beat. My co-host and my friend and brother in Christ, Gregory T, is taking a little vacation time today. He's going to try and call in from his remote location if he can, but if not, we're going to tell him just enjoy a little vacation time with his family. My name is Melvin Burns. Again, I'm your co-host. Before we get into today's interview, let me give you the weather. If you haven't been out today, it has been a rainy day. We do have a high today of 78. Tomorrow, a 65% chance of rain and a high of 76. Things get a little better Sunday. We have partly cloudy, low 65, high 77. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday are sunny days. Low 60 on Monday, high of 76. Tuesday, low of 54, high of 75. And again, that sunshine continues on Wednesday, low of 54, high 75. And then as we round out the week, on Thursday, it'll be partly cloudy, low of 56, and a high of 76. So after this rainy weekend, a chance to enjoy a nice sunny week. So glad you all are joining us. Speaking of rain, we mentioned the last couple of weeks the Boys Night Out at Mona Lake Park that was scheduled for the 17th and 18th this weekend has been postponed. Not canceled, it has been postponed. So that event will take place next weekend on the 24th and 25th. So if your son, nephew, brother, young man in your neighborhood has been signed up for that event, that will be next weekend. Same location, Mona Lake Park. They just want to make sure things are dry and they're able to have the full experience they want the young people to have. So make sure you make that change. If you go to the park tomorrow, no one will be there. Okay. And if you have any questions, feel free to contact Mr. Jenkins at the Lake Hawk Foundation. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as my co-host likes to say, will you join me in welcoming to the microphone today? I want to say sister, Miss Maya Clark-Grissom.
Yes. Hello.
How are you doing this afternoon?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I'm doing well.
Good.
So for those of you that have been around Muskegon, you may have heard her name before. I've met our guest a couple of times, but I'm looking forward to having a chance to have an extended conversation with her today. Why don't you start off, give us a little bit about your background and tell us who you are.
Okay. So my name is Maya Clark-Grissom, and I'm originally from Brooklyn, New York. I moved here in 1991, and I joined Holy Trinity and fell in love with it and stayed instead of going back to New York, where I was originally from. And God has blessed me since I've been here. He blessed me to get my education and then put me in a position where I'm able to work with at-risk youth. And now I am a school leader for Muskegon Covenant Academy.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Yes. Let's talk a little bit about Muskegon, your role at Muskegon Covenant Academy, and then we'll talk about the school a little bit.
Well, my role is I lead the students and the staff there. I'm like the principal, so what we call it school leader. And what I do is I oversee all of the programs, all of the staff, as well as the students. And we have some great things going on there. We really do.
For folks that don't know, Tell folks what Muskegon Covenant Academy is.
Muskegon Covenant Academy is a mission. It is a ministry that reaches out to students who have struggled in other districts. We're not there to take students from districts, but we reach out to the dropout students that want to earn a high school diploma, or students who are about to age out of traditional high school. So we serve students that are the ages 15 to 22, and they earn a regular high school diploma, not a GED. We're a regular high school diploma program. However, we have waivers with the state because we want to reach those particular students, the ones that have dropped out, those that are at risk of not graduating and getting a high school diploma.
So I don't want to be clear. So your age goes up to 22.
Yes, and if they are special education students, then we can go up to 26.
Okay. So let's just say, not typical students, somebody who's maybe struggled at their current high school, maybe has some behavior issues, attendance issues,
Yes.
where it's just not working at
Yes.
their current high school,
Yes.
public or private.
Right.
And those are the students you all are targeting and reaching out to.
Yes, we're targeting the students that do struggle in other districts, and for whatever reason is not able to be successful there. We have some really, really good programs in both Muskegon public schools as well as Muskegon Heights, and so those students that cannot make it in those districts, or even Orchard View or anywhere in the county of Muskegon, if they can't be successful, we want to help them be successful. We work on the barriers of, like, we have homelessness, and we have different mental illness, things like that. Students that are struggling, like you said, with behavior issues, and also with their home life. So if they're having difficulty at home or they are homeless, we do have Covenant Hall, where Covenant Hall is our dormitory. It's not a homeless shelter for teens, but it's a dormitory for our students who don't have a place to live.
Okay. Coming up years ago, you're either a good kid or a bad kid. You got labeled through school, and there was a good class and a bad class. But why don't you talk a little bit about, we always think of issues where high school students may have behavior issues, but talk about some of the factors you all have become aware of that sometimes underline why students struggle at some of the traditional high schools that may thrive better in your environment.
Well, sometimes, like I said, mental illness is one thing that we've seen come through, and it's a very serious thing, not only with adults, but also with children, and they don't know how to handle it. Well, even some adults don't know how to handle it well, but a lot of the students, it's really their backgrounds, their home life contributes, and I'm not going to say everyone's home life, because we have some students whose parents are really good, but the student chooses to do the wrong thing or chooses to go the wrong way. And like I said, sometimes it's mental illness, sometimes it's just behaviors, just wanting to be recognized as, I'm down with this, I'm down with that. We have in our school, of course, I'm going to mention Cedric Scott is someone that we work with constantly, and he comes into our building and he deals with students that want to be part of gangs. So he has group meetings with them. He brings them together. So we try to work with every aspect of a student's life, and we try to help eradicate the barriers that keep them from being successful. We have teen pregnancy. We have students that have children, and so we have a daycare in our building, so that our students that have children can bring their children to school with them as they earn their high school diploma. So we just try to work with every type of student, whatever the barrier may be. We provide unconditional love and absolute respect.
And how long has Muskegon Covenant Academy been here in Muskegon?
We've been here since 2014. We opened the school under Greg Pittman's lead, and Dr. Sam Joseph, and Judge the Honorable Greg Pittman, and Dr. Joseph. They met with Muskegon Public Schools. At the time, the superintendent was John Felsky, and he worked with them to open so we can provide that service to students.
Okay. Now, if I'm not mistaken, that's part of a larger type of school. That there are other communities as well.
Yes. So after opening Muskegon, they opened a school in Saginaw as well as in Kalamazoo.
Okay.
So we have those. We're looking at Lansing possibly. That was before COVID, so we don't know where it stands right now.
Yeah,
but
everything changed with COVID.
Everything changed with COVID. Yes.
And how many students? Again, I was talking to you earlier, and I said, "Well, when does school start?"
Well, we started already. We started in July 14th. A lot of our students are mature and they just want to graduate. They just want to get their diploma. They don't care nothing about summer vacation.
Okay.
They just want to get their diploma. So we gave the staff 3 weeks off. And then we came back in July, on
Okay.
July 15th, and we've been every day. We're there working with students. It's just amazing.
So, do the students recognize for some of them this may be like their last chance to, where people are trying to help them get that high school diploma, move on in life? Do they recognize that, or
Some
is that a
do.
process?
Some do, and then some don't get it until it's too late.
Mhm.
So we try to work with students so we can stop our young people from going to jail.
Yes.
Little petty crimes or even big crimes. We really try to work with them so that they understand what their future can be. And so we provide so much for them. We provide employment. I have an employment specialist who works only with the people in the community, with businesses, factories, and we get our students jobs. So that way, okay, now you don't have to steal, you don't have to sell drugs. Here's a nice job for you. One of our young men went to work for Gilbane, making very good money. He graduated from us, and now he's set for life, as long as he continues to do the right thing.
Yeah.
So we work with our students to try to get them to realize what their future can be rather than what they have experienced thus far.
Okay. And do you have opportunity to have some of your former students come back who maybe have to help some of the previous students like recognize this opportunity?
Oh God, yes, yes, we do. We have a lot of success. We've had 200 graduates since we opened, and most of them are doing very well.
Okay.
We track them, we see where they're going, what they're doing, and even if they're not doing what they can do, then we still support them as well. So once you become a part of the MCA family, we don't just let you go. We're a family, and we stick with you to the
Okay.
bitter end.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, what's the number of students that are enrolled there, like at any given time? What's your
Well,
average?
currently we have 130.
Oh, wow. Okay.
We would like to get up to a 200,
Okay.
because at our height we did have 244. That was the largest student population we've had.
Okay.
But we want to grow because we want to give back to the community. We want to give back to our young people, and we want them to be successful.
Okay.
Yes.
So, this is kind of a sensitive question. I'm going to ask you two questions. One, so we always like on this show, we always like to dispel myths or misperceptions people might have. For coming to Door Covenant Academy, it's not going to be like Dangerous Minds, and uh, you know, Rough Riders going down the hallway, and
Oh God, no. It's really funny because we have different sets, as they would call it. So we would have Muskegon and Muskegon Heights,
okay,
and we'll all be in the building together. It's one big happy family. Now, I'm not saying that they don't get into arguments, but you don't walk in and see East Side High, even though Paul chooses to call me Dr. Clark, but I'm not. I don't walk around with a baseball bat or any of that. But when you walk into our building, of course, we have security there.
Sure.
And the reason why we have security is because we want to make sure that our students don't bring things in. We want to make sure there are no weapons or anything coming into the building. What they do on the outside, they leave it on the outside. Muskegon Covenant is anointed ground. It's holy ground, and they don't disrespect that.
Oh, that's important.
And they walk in, and you just see one big happy family. We're doing what we do, especially for the different personalities and the different mindsets that we have.
Mhm.
We still, I mean, we don't go that way.
So they recognize it as a safe place and a safe environment.
Yes, they recognize it's safe, and they recognize that we truly care about them. I mean, it's not a front, it's not, put on. We're not doing this for the money because God knows nobody is getting rich. What we're doing is we're changing lives,
Mhm.
and that's what the mission is.
Tell me, what is the mission, the actual mission statement for Covenant Academy? I mean, put you on the spot.
Yeah, it's a long one, but look, I should remember it, but no.
Yeah, I didn't mean to put
But
you
it
on the
is
spot.
no, that's okay. The mission statement simply is we are here to prevent youth incarceration
Mhm.
and homelessness.
Okay.
We want them to change their lives, and see that there's something better for them. If possible, look, graduate and go, graduate and then come back and build the community, and that's what we want.
And the reason I asked that question,
Mhm.
when you talk about hiring staff, whether it's security, janitors, cleaning staff, they kind of have to buy into that mission for the students, they don't they?
Everybody that comes, I don't hire anyone that, number one, doesn't love young people.
Okay.
They have to love young people and they have to buy into the mission. And a lot of times, even in the interviews, when we interview new staff or something like that, that's the most important thing. Do you love young people? Do you want to see young people succeed, regardless to what their race is, regardless to what their beliefs are? We want to love them unconditionally. And if you can't do that, then Muskegon Covenant is not for you.
Okay, that's very good.
Hmm.
That's very good.
Yeah.
So again, you're a month into the school year. Talk to me a little bit about things that going on during will be going on during this current school year.
Oh gosh, we have a lot of things. So what we do is once a month we celebrate students because of what they've accomplished, whether it be finishing a class or whether they're just doing something kind. We want to recognize good behavior. We want to recognize accomplishments. We want to recognize whenever they finish a class. So for our school, they have to earn 19 credits. And one of the things with the 19 credits, the state only requires 18. But we say 19 because we want them to leave reading. It's really sad that we have 20-year-olds that are reading at a third grade level. And so one of the things is when before they graduate from our high school, we will not give them a diploma until they're actually at a ninth grade reading level or above. And that's because we want them to be successful. When you go for a job application, ninth grade or above, newspaper, lease agreements, things like that. If you can't read, then you can't be successful. So we have a very strong reading program for those students. We meet them where they are and we help them get to where they need to be. And we have community events. So we will invite the community into our building so that we can help our families, our parents that are struggling, or our students that are struggling. So we have every month we have some type of community event where someone will come in, whether it's DHHS or Michigan Works. It doesn't matter. Whatever's going to help support our students and their families, we bring them into the building. We celebrate every holiday, Cinco de Mayo, African Black History Month. We celebrate all of it because we want the culture in our building to be family oriented and respect and love everyone wherever they are as far as their race and so forth. So we have a lot of things going on. Like I said, we have our career specialists who help students get jobs. We build relationship with community agencies as well as businesses, local businesses, and they hire our students. We have a very strong relationship with Meyer, and they hire our students when we send them. So gosh, there's so much that we do. Like I said, we have Cedric Scott who comes in and he works with our students who participate in street activity. I'll say it like that.
Okay.
And we have a social worker and we have a speech therapist. So everything that a student would need to be successful, we provide. Like I said, we have Covenant Hall. We have several students that live in Covenant Hall now. And it's not, like I said, it's not a homeless shelter. It's a home for those students that don't have a home to go to.
Well, let's talk about that Covenant Hall and that piece of needing a place to live. You know, again, we think about traditional high school student, mom and dad wake up, time to go to school. Talk about the environment that you deal with and why that need arose for Covenant Hall.
Yeah, and so it's really sad because if you're under the age of 18 and homeless, there's nowhere in our county for students like or young people like that. So even with us, we have to. The state requires that they be 18 and over to live in our hall. We have what we call a program called McKinley-Vento, and that's in all of the school districts. And McKinley-Vento is a federal program that targets students that are homeless, whatever age they are. And you'd be surprised, people are homeless and they don't even realize that they're homeless based on, well, if you're couch surfing, that's homeless. If you sleeping in granny's house, not unless granny has custody over you, then that's homeless. But then we do have some students that sleep in parks, sleep in cars, just find anywhere they can to lay their head safely. We had a student who was living in an abandoned building. We have students that lived in the backyard of a friend's house. And so when we opened Covenant Hall, it was for that purpose, to make sure that, number one, they're safe and they're cared for. They're fed very, very, God knows they're fed very well. And then the only thing that we require of them is that they come to school and stay in school all day.
And how many students do you house at Covenant Hall?
Well, right now we have 7 and we're growing, and so we can house 12.
Is it men and women?
Yes, we have a woman's side and a man's side. And trust me, they don't cross each other.
I heard Sister Maya come out there. Never show the two meet.
That's right. Not there. They better not. But we do have house parents that live there. We created or we built a home for them inside of the building, so they have their own private residence inside of the building, and so they're there 24 hours. Well, they live there, so it's 24 hours, but the students are in school in the morning and the afternoon, and then they go home for second shift or third shift. Well, they live there. That's their home.
So from students who've able maybe to sort of get things on track there, have you had experience where they've been able to maybe reconnect with their families, because they sort of maybe tried to make an effort to turn things around there?
We did have a couple of instances where students have reconnected with their families, but they still wanted to stay at the hall.
Yeah.
That was their home. That's where they feel safe.
Mhm.
So and then they do go. We allow them. Well, not allow them. They're 18. So of course we have rules. So
Sure.
so they can go and spend the night or spend the weekend. We don't allow them to spend a school night, but the weekend they can go and spend with their families, and then they come back home. So we do allow that.
Okay. So if a student out there is listening to our radio program, and again, their traditional school just not working, what's the one thing you want to tell them if they're thinking about Muskegon Covenant Academy? It's like, if you're thinking about coming here, here's the thing you need to know.
We are going to love you unconditionally and lead you to success.
Okay.
All we ask you to do is follow.
Okay.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
you'll always get them there.
Yes.
Get them to the finish line.
Yes, we had one young lady. She came to us with 1 credit, and she needed to make the other 18, of course, and she did it within 6 months with her baby on her lap.
Wow.
So we have pictures of her literally at her computer working with her son on her lap, and she graduated within 6 months, and she is doing fabulous. I'm just so godly proud of her. I'm godly proud of all of our graduates that made their minds up to come and to earn that high school diploma, because that's the stepping stone to success.
Do you get sometime like, are you people real? Y'all are so, this is corny in our society that we care about you, that it's not about something, but we want you to do something. Do you have to overcome that sometime? And they're thinking, are you people really real?
Well, you know what? The only way they'll know is if they come and check us out. But anybody that knows Maya Clark knows that it's really all about the success of our students. It's about the success of our young people in our community. I'll support any program that is making a positive impact on the young people in our community.
You're going to actually have an event coming up in August?
Yes. So on Monday, we will have our back to school bash. And so it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have bounce houses, all of that. But most of all, we're going to do giveaways. We're going to give away backpacks, school supplies. We're going to feed people. So that's on the 19th at between 6 and 8. And it's sponsored in part by Gilbane Building Company, as well as WVS 103.7 The Beat. And then we're going to have a 5-on-5. So this is going to be a real 5-on-5. Cedric Scott, he is our sponsor for that. And we're going to give out trophies and awards and things like that. So it's going to be a very, very fun event. Yep. And everybody can come. Please come. We got plenty of backpacks. We want to give them away. We want the kids to start off right. And come check us out.
Okay. Now, if people want more information about Muskegon Covenant Academy, I want to reach you, how can people do that?
You can call 231-720-3100 and ask to speak to Miss Sue, and she will connect you with us, and she'll take care of everything for you.
Okay. Is there information about the school online that people can read about?
Yes. Yep. You can go to MuskegonCovenantAcademy.org and you'll see, .com, and you'll see our website. And then we're on Facebook, Twitter, and what's the other one?
Instagram.
There you go. I have a social media person.
Okay.
I'm not very savvy with it. The only thing I have is Facebook, and the only reason why I have that is because I like to inbox my students.
Well, my daughter said I'm not allowed to have Instagram. So she told me Facebook. She told me to stop at Facebook.
Stop at Facebook.
The others I'm not allowed to have.
Yeah, me either. I don't even find interest really. Just in Facebook, I'd be nosy trying to see what my students are doing, and then sometimes I wish they wouldn't friend me because I don't want. see what they're doing.
Yeah, I know that feeling of, yeah, you're under 30, baby. I don't need you for I'll see you tomorrow.
Right, right.
Very good. Well, it's nice to sound and talk with you. I'm really excited. If folks, I want to say this too. Every school needs support.
Yes.
So if folks are thinking, hey, this sounds pretty good. You mentioned some of the people who sponsor you. If folks are interested in the sponsor academy, there are certain things areas you might need specific help in, or if they just have an idea, what can they do if they also maybe thinking of ways to support the school?
Oh, please, because we have a pantry, and the pantry is where we have toiletries, we have clothes. We try to give our students everything that they need for their physical body as well as for their spirit and their mental body and their education, excuse me. But if you want to donate anything, if you want to donate clothes, if you want to donate toiletries, toothbrushes, we do it all in our pantry, and we need your support.
Great, awesome. We have about 2 minutes left here. We covered a lot of stuff. You don't seem nervous at all.
I was.
Well, you know what is when you talk about what you're passionate about,
Yes.
that goes away. It's been a
Yes.
pleasure.
Yes.
Anything you want to make sure you don't leave here and say, you know what, I wish I'd said that. Anything on your heart you want to say, or make sure we haven't covered it to let folks know about Muskegon Covenant Academy?
I want to say, if you are struggling where you are academically, if you're struggling in your school, mostly if you're a dropout and you want to earn a regular high school diploma, please come check us out.
Well, Clark-Grissom, it's been an awesome pleasure having you on the program today. Again, time flies by.
It did.
I would say we'd like to have you back again, but I know all Paul has to do is call you, and
Yes.
you're covered.
I have no choice with Paul, I tell you.
But I appreciate this opportunity for even me to learn more about Muskegon Covenant Academy.
Well, thank
I
you.
remember hearing the concept years ago. I was like, yeah, that's it's filling in one of those needs in our community.
Yes.
We can't pretend like that need's not there.
Yes.
As those, again, I didn't realize it had been 10 years already. So
Yes, 10 years.
That's awesome to hear.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
All right, we appreciate you joining us again, folks. This is Maya Clark-Grissom, the school leader at Muskegon Covenant Academy. Thank you so much for joining us today. Okay.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to take a little break here, and then when we come back, we'll have our next guest for the afternoon.
Many travelers dream of experiencing the beauty of Tanzania, from its stunning national parks to vibrant cultural sites, yet the costs often seem overwhelming. But with Visit Tanzania for Less, exploring this East African gem on a budget is not only possible, but incredibly rewarding. Whether you're a solo backpacker, a volunteer, or just a budget-conscious traveler, we provide valuable insights and resources to make your journey unforgettable without breaking the bank. Book your trip now with just a $300 deposit and flexible monthly payments until your travel date. For more travel inspiration and tips, follow us on Instagram or visit us at visittanzaniaforless.com. Visit Tanzania for Less, your dream adventure within reach.
Good afternoon. Welcome back to Torn in Two. I am Melvin Burns. I am flying solo today. They have entrusted me to manage the show by myself today. My friend and brother in Christ, Gregory T, is taking a little vacation time. So we're getting to the second half of our show. The first half, if you missed it, we had Maya Clark, who is the school leader of Muskegon Covenant Academy. We're going to continue with our education and school theme today. This is a friend and guest to the show today. I've appreciated getting to know him over the last year or two. Would you join me in welcoming to the microphone today the superintendent of Muskegon Public Schools, Matthew Cortez. Superintendent Cortez, how are you?
I am doing very good. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. It's good to see you.
Good to see you as well. And
Yeah,
I
I think
saw
last time
Maya
we spoke,
Maya Clark was with you.
I think last time we spoke, you may have been trying to get maybe headed toward a little vacation for the summer.
Yeah, I
Unless
got
I'm
4
mistaken.
days.
Now we're what, a week away from start of school?
Yes. The 26th is going to be our first day. So it's a week from this Monday.
Okay.
So,
Wow. So there's a lot happening. Let's
There is a
let's
lot.
talk about this upcoming school year. What are some of the things we can expect?
Well, I think one of the greatest things that's happening is the transition that we're doing into an academy, a career academy based model. This year in particular, the ninth grade freshman academy is getting formally established.
Okay.
And when you think about, people talk about, high schools are big, there's a lot of students and everything like that. In our academy, we break it down into what we call family. And it's kind of unique that we call it a family because you never get to choose your family and you
Hmm.
can never quit your family.
Right.
So,
No matter how hard
we
you try.
we had about out of the freshman academy last year, we had about 90% of our ninth graders matriculate to 10th grade.
Okay.
And over the summer, we were able to get the majority of the rest of that 10% up into 10th grade as well.
Okay.
So it's a real focus on meeting the students where they're at.
Okay.
And part of this large education, like everybody talks about the physical transformation our district's gone through lately,
Yes.
the educational transformation has been from a status of um, students learn the way I teach,
Hmm.
where we have transformed into I am going to teach the way that students learn.
That's awesome.
And
That's
that
awesome.
is like huge opposite polar ends. And it's been
Yeah.
a lot of work. My staff, I give them kudos up and down, my teachers, parapros, custodians, bus drivers, administrators, my board of education.
Yes.
It's only in all of us rowing in the same direction that a consequential change of just direction is possible. So
Yeah.
it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah. Let me add, this wasn't on my thought of questions before we started, but I was just
Yeah,
talking to my previous guest. When you come from, I don't know, a family background where you worked, everybody pitched in, helped out. How
correct.
important, talk about the importance of not just the superintendent or the administrators of school, but your bus drivers, your kitchen staff, your custodial staff, all getting that, understanding what you're trying to create there.
It is it's the family, right? So
Yes.
which one of your family members isn't valuable,
Right.
right?
Right.
So when I
Yes.
look at my bus drivers, they're the first people to greet my students in the morning,
Yes.
and they're the last people to greet my students as they're leaving off the bus at night.
Okay.
When I look at my custodial staff, right? They
Hmm.
they set the environment
Hmm.
and my custodial and maintenance, like when students walk into a building, whether people want to believe this or not, you can see it in our district right now as we're debuting refurbished and brand new buildings.
Yes.
A student really puts a self-worth to the environment that they're in.
Yes.
And if you walk into an environment and plaster's falling down and windows are broken and taped over and there's not a lot of sunlight and things like that, that contributes to your mental health. And when you walk into an environment like our new middle school or the three refurbished elementaries that we're debuting Monday and Tuesday this week,
Hmm.
uh, what we really look at there is we look at taking one of those barriers away from students learning.
Yeah.
It's kind of like food, right? If a student comes to school and they don't know where their lunch is, or
Hmm.
they don't know if they're going to have a lunch or a dinner, if we can solve those, then that's one less thing distracting that student from paying attention to the learning and actually doing deep learning during the school day.
Okay. As you talk about debuting those new buildings, and I've learned this more from talking to you, that building really has to complement and work with that teaching environment.
You're
Uh,
100% correct.
to talk about the buildings you're debuting and what can they expect in those new buildings in addition to a new structure.
So the middle school, Charles Hackney Middle School, we debuted that to the public in April, and we did that at the end of April, beginning of May. We did
Yes.
that on purpose because we knew that Oakview Elementary, Marquette Elementary, and Bunker Elementary would all debut like this coming week, all of the refurbishments that we've done. So it's kind of
Uh-huh.
like a mini grand opening kind of celebration. So
Uh-huh.
on Monday, like Oakview is going to be from like 4 to 6 p.m. on Monday. We're
Okay.
going to have a little ceremony at the beginning, and then it's going to be open for tours, and we'll have some light refreshments.
Okay.
Bunker is going to be on Monday from 5 to 7. and it's kind of the same concept around, you know, a little bit of a dedication at the beginning and a thank you to the public, and then we allow them to tour the school. And then Marquette will be on Tuesday from 4 to 6. All of these debuts were on the front cover of the Mirror that just hit homes last week, or
Okay.
earlier this week, actually.
Hmm.
And what they can expect is, and I really encourage people, if you could go to all three, and I don't want huge crowds,
Uh-huh.
but you're going to see that we listened to what the public said. And what they wanted is they wanted as much local elementaries as possible, like neighborhood elementaries. So
Okay.
when we built these 3 elementary schools,
Hmm.
we built them in equity, not in equality.
Okay.
Does
Now,
that make sense? So,
break that down for us, because that's really important.
right.
So tell folks
So
what you
we're
mean
going to
by
have equity in education, but it's
that.
not exactly equal buildings.
Okay.
So Marquette is going to be, you know, have a lot of GSRP and Head Start in it,
Okay.
and but they're still going to have their elementary, their neighborhood elementary in there.
I gotcha.
Our TWE program is moving over to Glenside this year, and
Okay.
Glenside's going to be under construction, so we'll debut them next fall as a
Okay.
newer building. Bunker is still 3 stories. It is a large building.
Yeah.
And then we have Oakview, and Oakview is going to be one of our most filled buildings, like our highest percent of capacity.
Okay.
So while each of the schools is different, all of them have a $250,000 STEAM lab.
Okay.
Each of them have the same exact curriculum for teaching the students, so that we can team teachers together across the entire city for first grade and for second grade, so that we make sure the experience that one's getting in Marquette is the same as Oakview and is the same
Okay.
as Bunker. So that's that equity piece.
Okay.
You're not going to miss out on any particular venue or experience. As we transition into the Career Academy model, we are creating a yearly experience that is guaranteed for every student in every grade in every school.
Okay.
So one of those would be, for instance, we do 3rd grade swimming. So every 3rd grader in our entire district has a unit of swimming that they are going to experience at the high school pool, in order to ensure that our kids are learning how to swim and that they know how to act and behave and survive around water.
Oh,
Because
awesome.
obviously that is a larger problem, especially
Yes.
in our community, with the
Yes.
access to as much water.
Yes.
As we go through, we are going to have one of those core experiences, and those core experiences are going to line up to exposing students to different careers and allowing them to see people that look like them, that sometimes were in their seat 5, 6, 7 years ago,
Hmm.
seeing that success and seeing themselves in the ability of creating or finding that job or that career for themselves.
Okay. Awesome. And then you mentioned, we've talked about the middle school.
Yes.
I don't want to call it the jewel, but I know we talked back in May when you had the open house, the overwhelming number of people that were amazed and astonished and impressed with the school. And just talk a little bit about, we've talked about it before, but talk a little about that school and again the environment they can expect to receive there.
I think that that school has set a new bar or standard for
Mhm.
school buildings, at least within my district, and some of the people say within the area or the region.
Mhm.
But the building is designed around making sure that students get the best education possible. And
Okay.
I think that's important, because back in the day, when you and I were little, and they
Mhm.
would build a building, right? They were
Yeah.
building it for a purpose of holding a classroom to educate a kid. They
Yes.
weren't thinking in terms of environment and using the building as a lab and things of that nature.
Yeah.
And that's something that we really, really paid attention to.
Mhm.
Um, and I think people weren't expecting it. I think
Mhm.
that it has been so long since they've seen a new building in our district, that they were just expecting, oh, it's going to be some brick and mortar and it'll have a fresh coat of paint and this and that. And when they walked in, it was just like you could see people's jaws drop. Um, but the building, the structure itself, doesn't educate kids.
Okay.
And that's the important part. Like, we have to meet our students where they're at, and
Mhm.
we have to have our professional teachers take them on a journey that winds through their life and gives them the education, not just what they need and not what they deserve, but what they desire.
Okay.
And that has been the large piece that I've seen has missed in our puzzle a lot of the time, is that the student voice has to drive the actions we do as a district
Okay.
because they know best. I mean, it's kind of like, you want to build partnerships. We're building partnerships. We're over 80 companies in the city area already that we've built partnerships with as we build this academy model.
Yes.
We have to listen to them. One of the things that they say is kids need to show up on time.
Okay.
We need employees that are going to show up every day on time, ready to work without their cell phone in their hand. So
Yes.
those are the types of things that we have to listen to in order to prepare our kids and our students and our future generation for what lies beyond graduation.
Okay.
And eventually, I mean, the ultimate goal here is we're going through master planning this year around the academies. We're going to actually do a pretty large launch in fall of 25 at the high school level of the
Okay.
academy level. And when our kids graduate, they're going to walk off a stage and they're going to have a diploma in this hand and they will have something else in this hand. Could be a certificate, could be a scholarship. It could be, they could be a CNA, they could be a firefighter. There's a lot of things it could be, but it's going to be something.
Okay.
And then to top it all off, they're going to know what they're doing the Monday after graduation.
That's awesome.
And this is not one or two or, just a subgroup of kids the way it used to be. We're dedicating ourselves. Every student will have that.
Awesome. That's a big commitment for you and the staff. That's a challenge.
Well, it is, but it's the challenge that, when you think about what you want for your children, right?
Yes.
As they go through school,
Mm-hmm.
what you want as a parent should be what we give to every student in that school.
Okay.
My son's a senior this year.
Mm-hmm.
What I do for my son, I need to do for every student in our district. And that standard is a high standard to live to. And my staff has stepped up to the plate.
Oh,
I'm
awesome.
so proud of them.
Okay. Now, Greg's not here, but I'm contractually obligated to ask about the band. So we'll talk about band and fall sports and activities just to cover
Are you
everything.
sitting down?
I'm sitting down.
My band doubled in size
Wow.
this year.
Now,
I have
tell
a new
people-
band director that came in.
Okay.
They did their marching band over the summer. She recruited all last year.
Okay.
We had a bit of a hiccup when we were changing directors last summer.
Mm-hmm.
We wound up with about 30 kids on the field, I think.
Okay.
We are putting more than 70 band kids on the field right now.
Awesome. I'll make sure
even-
Greg listens to the program.
So, and one of the things that I value is that artistic part, right?
Yes.
Just like every student's not going to college, every student's not going to play athletics. Every
Yes.
student's not going to be on student government or a leader of that nature. We need to give students as much opportunity as we can. And when you talk about the fine arts, you talk about band and orchestra and art class and all of these other things that they can do, construction, things of that nature. It works both sides of the child's brain. And when you engage both sides of a person's brain, they learn not just faster, but it's more permanent. And it creates the ability of them to replicate and also to achieve more in a faster and smoother fashion.
Okay. And Ken, I'm contractually obligated to ask about Big Red football this year.
Big Red football is in good hands this year. We still, we're coming off our state championship year last year. And
Yes.
I can tell you, Shane and all of the players and coaches, they are not skipping a beat.
Okay.
So it's going to be some tremendous football this fall.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're going to see a tremendous band at halftime. You're going to see a really dedicated cheerleading squad. We also have the new soccer field that our soccer team can play on.
Oh,
We
yes,
have,
yes.
the new middle school field for the middle school teams. So if there's one thing I can say is that at the beginning of my 6th year here, That's what this is.
Uh-huh.
We're firing on all cylinders.
Awesome.
And that's the first time that I can confidently say that I really feel like it is really everything is in timing and everything is coming together.
Oh, that's amazing to hear. Now, school officially starts, you'd say the 26th?
Yes, Monday the 26th. They have
Okay.
they come at 7:50 in the morning at the is when school begins at the secondary level for the middle school and high school, and the elementary level starts at 8:30.
Okay. And how is enrollment looking for the current year?
We are doing pretty well on enrollment. I mean, you can imagine, I think we're getting a little bit of people returning, especially at the middle school level because of the new building and everything.
Okay.
But I think what we're really going to see is that we're going to see as we go forward into developing these academies, and my staff does what my staff does, which is remarkable in my eyes every single day.
Mm-hmm.
The reputation and the assumptions that people are making about our district from the past is going to start to melt away. And they're going to see that this year's theme is really a cool one. And this is the first time I'm ever going to announce it.
Oh, wait a minute. Let me.
It's been a secret. And it's honoring the past, building the future.
Honoring the past.
And this year in particular is just screams that theme, because everything that we do from a standpoint of all of our traditions and all of our activities that we do, we really honor the past. When you look at the new building, the academic side looks like Nelson Elementary. And then you look over at the left side of the building and it's like a futuristic design, right?
Yeah.
So we're taking our past, all of our past and all of our traditions, and we're melding them together to create a future with the future that's brighter for every one of our students, and actually really helps our community out.
Yeah.
Because we wouldn't be anywhere without our community.
Yeah. You know, you say that and I'm from Muskegon, but we take for granted these 110-year-old school systems.
Yeah.
And you go to like the state finals and they're naming schools, and I go like, I never heard of that school before. Or schools that we grew up listening to, they don't exist anymore. So talk a little about the idea of having, again, I forget, it was 100 and how old is Muskegon School District?
So the class of 2025, which is the senior class this school year, is our 150th.
150 years.
In 1875, we had two graduates. That was our first two graduates, our first graduating class, and they were both female.
Is that right?
Yep. Which is special in itself.
Yeah, that's very unique. Yeah.
One of the things that I'm doing right now is I'm trying to engage. I've engaged like the History Museum, the genealogy area, the library, because I have the name of the two graduates.
Okay.
And I really want to look and see, is there descendants
that
I can bring in and actually have talk to my senior class, about, what 150 years, like I have not heard of another district really that has that rich of a history right now.
Yeah.
And it is just amazing to be a part of it. So you're going to see a little bit of extra things happening this year. So everybody in the public keeps their eye open. They're going to see some unique things to help our community understand the importance of how long we've been here and how strong we are as a district. And then we also want to honor the graduates, because it's no short feat to be in 150th graduating class. So
no, not at all. Not at all. Well, I appreciate you always bring us a little nugget and announcement for our show. We always appreciate that.
Well, I appreciate you guys having me on, because it allows me to get another way to message all of our community besides just the mirror and email and websites and things of that nature.
So now, God forbid there's parents that maybe they're just moved here or just have some reasons they didn't get their students enrolled. Is it too late to enroll for the school year?
It is never, ever, ever too late to enroll.
Okay.
It is never too late to begin your child's education. So all that they have to do is go to a local school if they're an elementary one, They can come to central office, which is on the high school campus. They can go to the middle school, wherever it is that is convenient for them. Go there. We'll get you set up and we'll get you in the right direction.
Awesome.
So
Awesome.
next week's all of our orientations.
Mhm.
So we're going to have middle school and high school orientations going on. The digital sign out front on Laketon has it. You can also look at our website. So all of those orientations will be going on for 6th through 12th grade. We invite anybody, they can come, they can register right at it. Next Friday, the 23rd, we have what we call our Return to Learn Fair. And that's
Okay.
from 3 to 5 p.m. It's going to be at the new middle school.
Okay.
And, that's where we have a lot of people there that they can meet. We have a lot of businesses and community service agencies that are there in order to give people resources. There's free food. And last year, I think we served quite a large number of people.
Mhm.
The kids really like the walking tacos. And the best part is it's free.
Yeah, everybody can afford that.
There you go.
Yeah. Two things. I know, like our church, we were going to have an event, back to school event tomorrow, but we're going to move inside, I think. But there's a number of community events where and good and rightly so, that have back to school events, backpacks, school supplies, and you see more and more of in the community. Is there a way? I don't know if there's a resource. I'm thinking of this from our church too. We can get that information to the schools in case some students are maybe still don't have some of those back to school supplies.
Yes. So you can drop off. They can call me and leave a message on my secretary's phone at 720-2004.
Mm-hmm.
And then we can reach back out. They can email me. You can just go on our website, click my email.
Mm-hmm.
They can just stop by a building and talk to somebody and we'll get them in the right direction.
Okay.
What I can say is that, and I saw some of the interview with Miss Clark from the Covenant Academy, which is a tremendous resource for our community.
Mm-hmm.
It is unbelievable how much good that academy has brought to so many young lives.
Yeah.
And we have a clothing closet. We have a large number of homeless students. We've seen our homeless student rate go up by 300% since the end of COVID.
Yeah.
And that's tough. And we do not waste anything. Any donations that are given to us, they will go to kids. They will go to kids in our district. It is one of the things that I always say is that the heart of Muskegon is what really kind of drew me here, just from walking around.
Yes.
When I was on vacation, I was walking in the downtown area and I was walking out near the mall, and just the friendliness just kind of drew you in, and it's that heart. And people are so dedicated to the youth in this area that we have no opportunity except for success.
Yes.
And I've had businesses tell me, we haven't been involved in the schools and we want to get involved, but we just need to know how. And so that's part of what we're doing. Like, we want to be able to give businesses a meaningful way for interaction with the schools that isn't about the money.
Yes.
Actually, some valuable resource that's more valuable, your time and your talent.
Yes.
Because they're part of our community, and we want to make sure as we graduate seniors and as we educate these new generations coming through, that we're educating them to continue our community, because a lot of people love Muskegon so much they stay.
Mm-hmm.
And we want to make sure we give them the ability of having a livable wage job, of being a productive citizen, and of being able to make the difference that some adults made in their lives for other kids as they go older.
Yeah. I'm going to throw you a curveball. We have a lot of, you've graduated a lot of students, and students are kind of determining you're starting your academy where students are figuring career paths. Students starting college this fall, and the old declaring their majors.
Yes.
Give a pitch for field of education.
Well, I can tell you that to be an educator is something that you have to be in it for the love of education and for the love of kids. I would say it's the most fulfilling thing I've ever done with my life. When I shake the hand of every graduate as they cross stage, when I get hugged by kindergartners as I walk into a kindergarten classroom, those are the things that are just immeasurable as far as gratitude is concerned. You can have a tremendous career. Selfishly, there's a lot of ways for people to get their entire education for free right now.
Yes.
Because of the investment, because of the teacher shortage. And the thing is that people are like, there's that old adage that people say, oh, those that can't do teach. Well, that's like a really negative way to look at things.
Yes.
What they're looking at is they don't understand what it means to save a child's life.
Yes.
And there's more than just a physical way that you can save a child's life. And what I really want to encourage is that I was a first generation college student in my family. My entire trajectory for my 23 nieces and nephews, me going to college, changed that.
Yes.
It set a different standard. It created something different and it rose us from what I would call, lower class growing up in a poverty situation. And it actually changed the direction of a number of my brothers and sisters' families, as well as my own family.
Yes.
When you have a student, I'll give you an example. My first year here, I was contacted by a gentleman from the class of 1945. And on behalf of the class of 1945, he donated $400,000 to our district.
Wow.
And he wanted instruments for band to be in the 5th grade at the elementary schools.
Okay.
That's what he wanted us to use it for. We're doing it right now. We've made it happen. That's the life-changing moment that he experienced in education. So imagine being the person that is the adult that's on the other end of that experience for this gentleman.
Yes. Mr. Cortez, I appreciate. Thank you for sharing that and offering that. We're out of time. We have to get you back because the state legislature changed the game for going to community college.
Yes, they did.
But we'll have to get you back and talk about that. But man, that's an awesome opportunity for our high school.
Yes, it is.
We'll have you back. Listen, we wish you the best starting the school year to you and your students, your staff, your board, all your administrators. We'll be praying for a safe and just a wonderful school year for all of you all.
Well, as always, it's my pleasure to talk with you, and it's just an honor to be here. And thank you for the service that you're doing to the community, because it means a lot.
Well, thank you. Thank you again for being on the show, folks. We're out of time. This has been Torn in Two, your news and information program. Go out, be a blessing to somebody this weekend.